What is up, my fairies? So I finally decided to rebuild my house in The Sims 3, and I've sped the footage up so you can see how I did it. I started this process by putting everything into the household inventory. At some point, I did have this weird glitch with the slide, which I had to put cheats on, just to delete it. After which I could finally delete everything else. Then I decided to paint the terrain. I always find that the terrain bothers me, the way it is so patchy. For now, I wanted it to be the same colour. After this, I picked the foundations I liked for the house. I used it to map out the corners of where it could go. But this didn't really work, so I used the carpet instead. I used the carpet to map out the rough size of the house. I did it this way because it allows some garden space. Then I finally got onto the foundations of the house, and I had an idea in mind of how I wanted it to look, so I just went ahead and started to execute that. I didn't really like what I had at first, so switched it around until I got the shape I roughly wanted. I needed to make sure there was space for rooms, and I also wanted to have a back porch as well. Once I was somewhat happy with the design of it, I began to make the walls, not really sure of how this was going to look straight away. But as I did have a design in mind, I went off that. I went ahead and designed the porches using these fences as they fit my aesthetic style. I also decided that this little gap I had left seemed perfect for a pool, which I had not even thought of in the original design, so I went ahead and added it in, trying to make it look nice. Once this was done, I started to add rooms. I quickly went back to the porches, adding stairs and the doors to the front and back. After this, I needed to visualise how the rooms were going to look. The only way I could do this was by placing the objects. I couldn't see how the rooms would look or work without the objects inside them. Since this is the way I plan most houses anyway, I stuck to it and planned this house the same way. I had this really cool idea with the babies. Since when babies cry, they wake everyone up in the room, so I wanted to separate them off. I tried to do this in the small space I had, using the arches to make it look like they were not in the individual rooms. I had some issues with the arches, as they couldn't be next to other arches. I also didn't realise that they prevented the cot from being placed in there as well. This is because of pathing issues. So, I went back to redesigning the whole baby room, trying to make it a little bit bigger. I managed to make the room large enough so it would work, but I was frustrated by the width, not being able to have 3 of the rooms. So, I went to redesign the whole back and made it so it was one longer. I'm glad I did this, as later it gave me much more space. With the 3-room design, I also could use the rest of the room as a play area, which I had not thought of in the original design. I actually forgot, I hadn't added a bathroom yet, so I tried to create a minimalist bathroom off to the side here. I wasn't super happy with the design, but it worked for now. Not knowing how I wanted the rest of the rooms to look, I moved everything back outside to design one room, but then I became obsessed with the garden. I wanted to add that flower bed back, just like the original design, but I wanted to improve it with some extra flowers. I did this by using the terrain paint once more. I also thought it would look good if it had some stone pathway leading up to it, so I designed that too. This got me thinking, and eventually I started adding it everywhere, making a whole design around the house. While working on the garden, I wanted to make some sort of graveyard. This might grow at some point, even though there is only one grave for now. Even though it took me some time to do this, I kind of like the design I came up with. I also decided that I wanted a similar flower bed design at the back, which I think works really well with the design later. I started to add flowers outside the graveyard to make it look somewhat nice. Once I'd done the flowers around the graveyard, I thought it would look nice if the pathways had flowers, all the way around them too. I did have some issues by the stairs, but nothing that holding alt couldn't fix. Then I decided that I'd fill any gaps in with the terrain paint and make the path look smooth. With the garden looking all nice, I decided to design a kids outdoor play area too. I used the playpen as a start and tried to see what else would fit. I didn't have that much space, so in the end I just used some of the rocking horses as well as the decorative serpent. I then wanted the driveway to almost look like asphalt or stone. Even though my Sims don't own a car, I wanted it to look nice. Then, because I was slowly realising I had run out of space, and I didn't have enough rooms, I decided to look at the stairs. After seeing how much space they took, I remembered there was ladders and even spiral stairs. So I went with some spiral stairs that I liked the look of. Then it was onto the doors for all the rooms we had, and eventually I started to decide where I wanted everything to go. I did kind of want a reading nook for where I put the desk and computer, but I was aware I was running out of cash and needed to finish off the important stuff too, such as adding windows to provide some light. I also placed the lights down I had. I went on to doing the kitchen, but had a weird glitch with counters. I fixed this by going into play and back to build. I got a notification because I'd sold a stereo for money. Oops, I was supposed to fix that. Once every room was done, or as done as I could get it, I went on to adding carpets. I would have done wall coverings too, but I either forgot or just ran out of money. I went on to add walls to the second floor before doing what was most important, the roof. I had such a hard time designing this, but in the end I got something I liked, before I remembered the patterns for the roof can't be customised, and I simply didn't like any of them. With the roof done, I needed to add wall coverings for the outside, so that it would look nice for the neighbours, even if the inside wasn't fully finished. I accidentally put some on the second floor, and at this point I realised I was running out of money. I was really struggling to find something to match the bottom, and eventually I did. Then, I finished off by adding a couple of lights here and there, before I actually ran out of money. Perhaps I shouldn't have spent it all on them flowers. Anyway, that was the final design of the house for now. Here is the before and after. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you all in the next one.